So we have discussed about CNN yesterday. So let's try to. So how many steps are involved in CNN? Just a basic revision.
5 steps.
5 steps.
Okay. What are those steps?
Number of filters inclusion,
Okay.
then activation, basically for ReLU,
Okay.
and 2 and 2 filtration with stripe 2
Maximum.
Pooling,
Yes.
maximum pooling,
Yes. Then
then flattening,
flattening, then
flattening.
and
classification.
then classification or
classification.
Exactly. Okay. So let's try to see the practical demonstration of this. So everyone just open a Google Colab. I will also open Google Colab. So we'll work with CIFAR 10. CIFAR 10. Okay. So what TensorFlow has done is, so TensorFlow gave some built-in dataset to practice on. Okay, so the built-in dataset in the sense that you can download, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to search for the datasets. So what TensorFlow will do is, so in the documentation, so they have something called as dataset from where you can download the dataset. Okay, for example, if I go here and if I type TensorFlow datasets, and when I click on this datasets, so these are the datasets that are given by TensorFlow by default. Okay, this is the audio and okay, not the audio one. Yeah, this is the image one. Okay, so these are the image datasets that are given by just given by TensorFlow. Okay, so almost all the datasets that you want is present in this. Almost all the datasets. Important datasets are present. So see, MNIST is here by default. So you don't have to search for dataset in Kaggle or you don't have to search in any other portal. You just come to TensorFlow. You just use this function and you can import any of the datasets from here. So CIFAR 10 is here, CIFAR 100, CIFAR 10, then different variation of the CIFAR, then flowers, citrus leaves, flowers, eminist, and all kind of images that you want. K eminist, okay. K stands for Karnataka, okay. This is a language based. So yes. So almost all the data sets, so basically you can practice on all the data sets by default. Okay, rock paper scissors is one of the interesting thing that you can do. If rock paper scissors is a game that you have played, right? Rock paper scissors, that is a game. So based on what your friend is giving, you can play this game with the computer also. So it's up to you. So this is clear to everyone that from where to get the data set if you want to practice for TensorFlow in TensorFlow. So from where to get,
Yes.
okay. So I will just take CIFAR 10 from here. I will take MNIST from here. Where is MNIST? I will take MNIST from here and I will take Fashion MNIST from here. Okay. This is MNIST. And let's go to F for Fashion MNIST and Fashion MNIST share. So today we'll work with 3 data sets. So let's start with the first data set. So the first thing what we have to always do is we have to import the libraries. So what we'll do is we'll do import TensorFlow. How to load the dataset function. So it's very easy. What you have to do is you have to type from TensorFlow. So it's TensorFlow. So from TensorFlow dot datasets, So there is a function called as, sorry, it's not dataset, it's keras dataset, keras dot datasets import. So whatever you want to import, you can import from here. Okay. So for example, if I want to import CIFAR 10, I can import CIFAR 10 and just run this. So once you do this and everything is executed successfully, you will not see any error message. Now how to load the data set is very easy. So basically what they have done is they have done a train test split by default. They have done the test split by default. Okay, so if you see the data set also, so CIFAR 10. Okay, not this. So see, there are 500 training images and 10,000 testing images. Okay, so they have done the training and testing split by default, so you don't have to worry about this. So how to import that? So basically, what you do in train test split is what we get X train, comma Y train, and it returns two tuples. Okay, and the tuple contains this. So X test and Y test. So basically 10 training and testing data. And how to load this? You have to do CIFAR 10 dot load data and put in the bracket. That's it. And once you run this, the data will get downloaded automatically and everything will be stored in the variable. So now if you see X train, so what will be the shape of X train? Anyone? From the data that I have shown you with the documentation here. So what will be the size shape? Just read this line and tell me the shape of train data.
10 cross 10.
10 cross 10. No. See, how 10 cross 10? From where you got 10 cross 10? Okay. So let's try to develop this. CIFAR 10 dataset consists of 60,000 data, and that is 32 cross 32 color images. So if I tell 32 by 32 color images, what this means?
Matrix of 32 by 32.
And what is color images? So width also we have 3,
RGB.
right? Then,
Yeah.
correct? So 32 cross 3 in short. Yes. Yes, everyone.
Yes.
And so if I import, so there's already a separation between a X target and the images. Okay. So X train, the shape will be something like this. 50,000, 32, 32, 3. This means that this is the image size and there are 50,000 images. So this is the total matrix that we are getting. This is X train dot shape. And now can you tell me for X test?
10,000 32 32 3.
Yes. So 10,000, 32, 3. So this is the shape of the data. So X test. It is 10, 32, 32, 3. And if you want to see the Y train, what will be the shape of Y train? Anyone?
Same.
Why same? How it will be same? Y train will only contain a target variable, right? It will not contain a matrix. So it will be same.
Yeah.
So it will be 50,000 into 10. Okay, because how many classes are there? We have 10 classes, right? So dot
Yes.
shape, and if I run this, it is 50,000 dot 1. Okay, so let's try to see what it how they are given. So basically what they have done is they are given 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically that's why it's like this. See, 6, 9, 9, 9, 1, something like this. So that's why it's 50,000 to 1. So let's do test dot shape. And this is the shape that we have. So this is clear to everyone. The basic information about the data set is clear to everyone.
How it is 3, I mean 50,000, 32, 32, I got it. 3 is for?
Okay, okay. I will tell you. So this representation is something like this. What is the image size? Sorry, image resolution is 32, 32, right? So 32, 32, 32, and 32. And I am saying that it is a color channel. Color channel in the sense it is RGB.
RGB.
Yes. So there will be how many? So 32 of one, then one more will be there behind that. That the first one is R, the second one is G, and the third one is B. So what is the dimension of this? Dimension of each image is
Okay, so 32,
32,
32,
and the width is
comma
how much?
3.
Yeah,
3.
width is this.
Right,
Width
okay.
is 3, right? Because it's a color image. So R, G, B. Okay, this you understood. Now
Yes.
this image I have 50,000 times the same thing, one after the other. That's why 50,000 into, so this 50,000 nothing but the number of images, and this is the size of the image. Now it's clear.
Yes.
Same goes with this also. So what I will do is I will try to do something like this. So if I see here, okay, so if you see here, this is the structure. Okay, so in the same way what you have given is in the same way they have given the naming also. Okay, for what I meant to say is, in the white train, what you have seen, number is given, right? White train number is given
Yes.
0 to 9. Yes or no? If you notice.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So how they are giving this? They are giving by this. Okay. So the first image is of aeroplane. So aeroplane is 0. Second is automobile. So automobile they have annotated with 1. Third one is bird. Fourth one is cat. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So wherever you will see, so in this Google Colab, where so 6 means what now? Can you tell me? So if I go to this, 6 means what? So 0,
Frog.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, frog. So the sixth, the first image is of,
Frog tree.
Frog.
Frog.
so the first image is a frog. Okay, so they have annotated in this way. So what we'll do is we'll try to do a labeling of this. Okay, so that it will be very easy for us to understand. So what I mean by that is this. So we have classes, and what are the classes? The first one we have airplane. The second one we have automobile. Then the third, if I'm not wrong, I have bird. Then cat. Then I have frog. Okay, so I have to check what I have. Let me check. So CIFAR 10. So aeroplane, automobile, bird, cat, deer, dog. Okay. Cat, deer, dog, frog, horse, then ship, and then truck. Okay, so why I'm doing this is instead of getting, so if I want to check that what is the image of, what is the first image, so now you can see the number, yes, but I want to see what is the name of the image, so that's why I'm doing this thing, so that I can label each and everything. So what I mean to say is, if I do something like this, y train of 0, can you tell me what will be the output of this?
Yeah, 10.
So if I run this, the output is 6. Why 10?
So the first element in the white
Yeah,
byte array
first
is
element in the matrix. Okay, so 10 is not the first element, 6 is the first element. So you can see from here, right? This is the first, this is the element. This is the first. So 6 is the answer. Now what is 6? So what we can do is a shortcut. So if I do something like this, what will be the output?
You will get 6.
I will get 6. Now if I map this with this, so if I do classes of 6, what I will get? What will be the classes of 6?
Frog.
Frog.
So you will get output as frog. So some mistake I've done here. Let me see. Okay, so class is not defined. Okay, so I think we have not run this, and we have to run this also. Now the answer is frog. So instead of getting the number, I am getting the proper name. So that's why I have done this. Okay, suppose you want to check this is the second element. So just do this one. Second element was 9, I guess, and it was truck. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So instead of getting the number, I am getting the name. It's clear what I'm trying to do here, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, just so that it will help us to understand what that particular number is. That's it. Now what I will do is I will visualize the data. Okay, so for example, I will do import matplotlib as matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Let's execute this and visualizing the data. So what I will do is I will just do plt dot imshow, and inside this I will pass the data. That's it. So I will just pass y, sorry not y, that's string, and the value at 2. So what is the image of this? What is the image?
Truck.
It's a truck, right? And what is, so if you want to do the cross check, so this is x train is 2, so I have to check y train also 2, right? Because second element is what? Truck. So let's see what is the, if we are correct or not. So it's truck. Let's try to change this. So this will be, suppose I made 8, and this also I have to make 8. So if I run this, this is ship, and you get ship. You get answer as ship. So this is with the matplotlib. If you have an array, you can easily, if you have a matrix basically, so you can easily plot this with the imshow. Imshow stand for image show. Im stand for image, and showing the image, that is image show. So if you have some image in the form of a matrix, and if you want to see in a Google Colab or in a Python code, you can use matplot function, and you can do imshow dot, and you can pass the matrix here. So when you pass the matrix, it will display something like this in the form of an image. So till here is clear to everyone?
Yes.
Anyone has a doubt, they can ask. Till here, anyone has a doubt about what I am doing? Okay. Now the next step, what we'll do is we will normalize the data. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by normalizing the data?
Scaling.
Yeah, but how, from which range to which range data will be normalized? What is the range of normalization?
0 to 1.
Yes, 0 to 1. 0 to 1. So what I have to, if I have, so what is the pixel value that I have told you, that what is the pixel value range for each pixel?
0 to 255.
0 to 255. This everyone knows. Great. Now, if I have to normalize this, I have to convert everything in the form of 0 and 1s. Yes or no? So x train comma h test equal to x train. What should I divide with so that I will get the value ranging from 0 to 1? Just think.
$255.
Exactly, 255, right? Because the maximum value is 255. So 255 divided by 255 will be 1. 0 divided by 255 is 0. So basically, when you do divide by 255, you will get an answer as the normalization answer. So 255.0. If I run this, if I see x train now, everything will be in form of 0 and 1. See, everything will be form of 0 to ranging from 0 to 1. All the matrices. Then one more step I'm doing, and that step is converting to categorical data. Okay, so basically I'm converting into two dummies. If you so 0 and 1 is converting two dummies. So how many column will be created if I do get dummies then for the target variable?
10.
Then
Exactly. So categorical. This is the extra step I'm doing just to show you that what are different functions we can use with TensorFlow. Okay. So you have learned get dummies there. I am showing you some other function called as two categorical. So TensorFlow has one more function called as two categorical. So to call that, we have to use this from TensorFlow dot keras dot utils import two categorical. Okay, so yes. So you don't have to use get dummies there. With the likely or with the help of two categorical, you can convert everything into two categories. Y tree, y test equal to. So you have to call the function two categorical, and inside this you have to pass the variable. That's it. So y train. So it will convert automatically into two categorical. So and this will be y test. And if you run this, now when you see y train, this is what it happens. So everything is converted into this. So this till here is clear to everyone? What I'm trying to do here?
Hassan, can you show that function again once more? Like the last one that we imported?
Okay, the last function which I imported, this is a function, two categorical.
For the categorical one.
Yeah, to convert into, so you don't have to use get
Two
dummies.
categorical.
Yes, two categorical.
Okay.
Can you repeat the normalizing thing again?
Okay, so normalization is, what is the range of normalization? First tell me.
0 to 1.
0 to 1, right?
Yeah.
So 0 to 1. And what is the pixel range? All the pixels will be ranging from 0 to 55, right?
Yes.
So what is the maximum value? 255. So what should I divide the maximum value with so that it will become 1? This maximum value, which value should I divide with this so that the value
255.
250 itself.
255, right? So it's the same thing I'm doing there. So the maximum value will be 255 only. So all the value will be less than 255. So 244 divided by 255 will obviously be less than 1. Yes.
Yes.
So the range will be between 0 to 1. Simple way of normalization. It's clear now?
Yes.
So this is what I am doing. Yes, of course, you can use the normalization method also, what you have learned in sklearn. This is just a shortcut way because I know the pixel values, right? So I can do in the shortcut way instead of importing the function and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyone else want to ask something? So in ANN, what were the three steps to build a means to execute from building to the execution? What are the three steps? So what was the step one?
Convolution.
No, not in that way. First is model building, model architecture. You have to decide a model architecture first, right?
Yes.
Then once this is decided,
Sequential.
then compile.
Then you do
function.
give the den, yeah,
Compile, and then the third one is fit.
fit.
Same thing we will do here also. Yes. Okay. So let's go with the model architecture first. So let me create a new shell and let's build a model architecture. Now here it will be a bit different. So what we have to do is, so I will just zoom out this. Okay. So how to call the architecture? Okay, it is bit different from what you have learned in ANN. So because we have to call some different stuff here. So from TensorFlow dot keras dot layers. This is similar that what you have learned in the last class. Now the only thing what we will change is because we are using CNN. So import. So we have something called as convolution 2D. So we do a convolution, right? But the first step, what is the first step? Convolution. Yes.
Yes.
Then ReLU is by default there. Then what is the next step we do after ReLU?
Strive.
Pooling.
Polling.
Pooling. The stride and everything is a factor of that filter only. Okay, that will come in con 2D. I'm talking about the steps here. So first we do the convolution, then we use the ReLU, then we use the max pooling, right? So max pool 2D. Why 2D? Because all the image is in the form of 2D. That's why. And then the third point, what we do up next?
Flatten.
Flatten. So FLATTN flatten. And then we have to build a normal ANN. So for ANN, what we need? If you have practiced. So we have something called a temps, if you remember.
Yes. For model.
And dropout. And one more thing I have to create. What is that? What kind of model ANN is? It's a sequential model, right? Because data flows from one end to the other end. Yes or no? Same in Con2D also, data flows from one end to another. And if anywhere the data is jumping or skipping something?
No.
No, right? So here also we call something called a sequential. So how to call? From TensorFlow dot keras dot models.
Import sequential.
Okay. So this is what you have to do. Just run this and everything is important to build a CNN. Go down again and let's start building the architecture. So the first what we'll do is we'll try to create architecture and it will be in a different way. Okay. So I will just give you the second way that how can you build architecture. So what you can do is you can put sequential here and just close the bracket. Then what you can do is you can do model dot add also. Okay. So I have shown you that you have to give the, in this, you have to give the, like this, right? If you remember, for everything in the form of a list.
Yes.
So this is the one way and this is the other way also. So I basically go with this way, which I'm doing right now. So I feel this is more convenient than the list one. It because the code looks clean. That's why. So model dot add. So the first thing what I'm adding is, what is the first step in convolution? We have to decide the image input and the filter size. Yes. So basically
Yes.
conv2d. So conv2d. Now when I put the bracket, see the parameters that we have. So the first parameter is the filters. So what is the filters?
How many?
How
We
many
need to provide
filters?
filters.
How many filters you want? Kernel size is the filter size. What is the filter size you want? Stride is by default what?
One.
1.
Padding is what?
It does the padding by default.
Padding equal to
Valid.
valid is by default. Okay, and the activation function is none. Then the kernel initialize is a inform by default, and this we have to decide. Okay, so the first parameter again, the input image will be decided by the what image you are giving. Okay, so CNN will automatically, when you do model.fit, so my CNN model will automatically identify that what is the size of an image, because the size of the image is 32 cross 32. So my CNN, I don't have to, so in ANN also I don't have to identify the input layer, right? So in this also I don't have to identify the size of an image. So directly I have to decide the filter. So I want filter of 36. I want kernel size of 3. I want activation of, what's the activation function?
Relu.
Relu.
And what if I'm using this, what will be the kernel slicer for this?
He.
HE normal or HE uniform. Then after doing this, what is the next step? See, 1 and 2 step is covered here. First step is covered here, second step is covered here, Relu. Then after this,
Pooling.
Pooling.
polling. So what you have to do, you have to do model dot add, and in that you have to do max pool. So max pool, let's see the parameter of max pool. So what is the default pool size?
2 cross 2.
Cross
2 cross 2. So I will put 2 only. And what is the stride I've told you that you should take always?
2 in.
Okay, so let's try to keep stride as none. So none means that the none means 1 cross 1 basically. Okay, so I will give 2 cross 2. So everything is a square matrix. So what you can do is either you can represent by 3 or you can do 3 cross 3. It's up to you what you want to use. It's totally up to you what you want to use. Okay, so this is model.add. So this is what? This is one convolution layer. This is one con layer.
For pooling, what parameter you passed?
So parameter, if I just do this, okay, so if I put comma, so parameter is pool size, that is I have given as 2, that is by default. Okay, and so the second parameter I have given is the stride, that I have told you, the stride should be always of 2, right? So this,
Yes.
so this is 2 I am passing here. So if you know how to read the function, so if you see this, if you scroll down, see integer or a tuple of 2 integers. Okay, so either you can pass the integer or tuple of 2 integers. So basically 2 cross 2 we can represent as 2 also, right? So that's the only thing I'm doing here.
Option.
Yes.
One question. Already the default value is for max pooling 2 into 2. If we'll not give here 2 and directly give the stride one, so whether it will work?
Yeah, it will work. It will work. So what you can do is you can leave this empty also. It will work because by default everything is 2 cross 2 and stride is 1. So this will work. Yes.
No. Stride is 2, but we are using max pooling as a
So
2
you
into
have
2.
to, so if you're changing the position, no, so you have to give the parameter name also. So like this,
Parameterization. Okay.
you have to give the parameter name also. Yes.
No, I am thinking instead of not giving that comma, then 2. You
No, that is not possible.
that will not work,
No,
right?
no, that is not work.
Okay.
There is the function property that you are disrupting. So that's why.
Okay.
So you have to keep in the rules, follow the rules. So that
Okay.
is not possible. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So what I will do is I will do 2 cross 2. Okay, this is done. Then I will just copy this. I will paste down. Now the first convolution is done. Then we have to go the second convolution. So what is the trick that we have to follow? I have told you.
Filter should have
Increase the filters.
Increase the filters. Okay, so I will
Multiplied by
just
2.
that is for me. Okay, this is 64. I will leave this is as it is. Then I will add one more layer. Then I will go to 128. Okay, suppose I'm stopping here. So suppose this is conv layer 1, this is conv layer 2, this is conv layer 3.
So first combination layer 32, that will be 32 or 36? 32, 64, multiplication of 2. Right?
Yeah, so okay. So 32. Yes. Typo error. So 32, 64, 128. Then after to suppose you have decided that only you have to use only 3 convolution layer, that is conv1, conv2, conv3. Then you decided to flatten. So what we have to do is we have to do model dot flatten. Sorry, model dot add. I write model dot add inside this flatten. And we don't have to pass any parameter inside flatten. Okay, it's a empty function. And once everything is flattened, then same thing what we have learned. So basically you have to create ANN models. That's it. So add dense. So I'm starting mode 128. Activation, I will go with ReLU. Model dot add. I will use some dropout values. So why we use dropout?
to avoid overfitting.
Yes, to avoid overfitting. Now this is 128. Now my this so this will be what? This will be 128. So this will be divided by 2. For me, it's 64. Then here it's 32. I can just play with the values here. So ReLU, then I will put sigmoid here. Then one more last thing we are remaining. So the output layer. So how many outputs should be in the output layer?
10.
10.
10.
10. So this is the architecture. So the architecture is clear to everyone. Just see once and tell me.
But in output layer, it should be softmax activation function.
Yeah, so we have to put the softmax activation function. Yes, exactly. Because it's a classification, so softmax activation function.
There is typo.
Okay, so typo error, sorry, softmax. So this is architecture. Okay, so theoretically it looks tough, but when it comes to coding, it's very simple because of Keras. All thanks to Keras and TensorFlow framework. So we have to just decide the number of parameters and stuff, and architecture is very easy. Yes or no? Building architecture is very easy.
Yes. How can we decide dropout point 2?
This is just a random value. So this is just that you have to play with the parameter. That's it. So I have just done copy paste, right? So because it's like that, so I can put 4 here, 2 here, and 6 here. So this is hyperparameter tuning thing. You can't just put the values.
Okay.
Okay. So if I run this, let's see if any error is throwing. So error will throw no. I will let's see. Okay, executed successfully. No message. Then what is next step we have to do? Model dot compile. So just remember this step. Okay, after creating architecture, we have to use we have to always compile the model, and optimizers is SGD. Then loss function is categorical cross entropy that everyone knows. In the same what you have learned in logic relation, the same thing. So categorical cross entropy. And what is the matrix that you want to take? So we'll take the accuracy matrix here because we have this is the classification problem. So accuracy matrix. So accuracy matrix. So let's run this And when this is run, okay, what is the next step you have to do? After compiling the model, what you have to do?
Model dot fit.
Yes, model dot fit. So model dot fit x train, comma y train. Then epochs you have to decide. So we go with 15, and then batch size you have to decide. Batch size of 32. And if I execute this, let's see if any error is coming. So it's getting executed. So let's do this. Okay, why the output is not coming? Okay, now it's clear. So everyone, are you able to run the model? Is running for you also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the accuracy you are getting?
Same. It's just running 0.10. Same like this.
Yeah, so basically 10% of accuracy you have. Okay, so because why? Because we have just taken a random values. Okay, now we have to do hyperparameter training thing. So we'll do this after the training. We will do the hyperparameter training. So basically, we have to change the values. That's it. That's the only thing we have to do.
Son, when
Yes.
you discussed the activation function, there was only two, Relu and Sigmoid. What softmax is difference from?
See, softmax, no? Okay, so softmax, the only thing is the definition is different. That's it. So it's okay. Suppose I have three per. So how many? Suppose I have three classes. Class one, class two, and class 3. So at the end, you will get the probability of each classes, yes. So this will be 0.2, this will be 0.3, and this will be 0.5, yes. So to calculate the loss, so what we do is we do something called softmax. So what the formulas of softmax is, this is the formula of softmax. So e raised to, suppose I am finding the accuracy of what is the percentage of class 1. So e raised to 0.2 divided by e raised to 0.2 plus e raised to 0.3 plus e raised to 0.5. So this is nothing but a softmax. So basically it will give the highest probability. Okay. So for example, in this, which is the highest probability, 0.5 is the highest probability, right? So the class 3 will be 1 and everything will be 0.
Okay.
This is a function of softmax. This is softmax. That's clear?
Yes.
This is what is softmax is. Okay, so execution completed. Let's start with the execution now. So the accuracy what I got is 0.10. This is because we have taken some random values. Now we have to play with these values. Okay, so let's try to. So I will tell you what I'm doing here. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so this is also accuracy. Okay. Okay, so let me stop this. Okay. Now we have to play with the value. Okay, let's try to play with the value. So get the better accuracy. So 32. So everyone, in your own laptop, just try to change the value and let's see if that for which particular person we are getting the best accuracy. Okay, so I'm also changing here. You also change in your respective laptops. So try to keep on changing the value. That's it. So let me also change. Try to increase the value or decrease the value or anything you want, you can do. Anyone got the better accuracy? So let's change this to 2 comma. Okay, so this is stopping this one. So Okay, anyone got the output? The better accuracy or not? So my accuracy is increasing. See, my accuracy is increasing after each step. So 20, it became 28 now. So if I go to more epochs like 100, I will get a good accuracy. So anyone else tried with something new?
Yes, Akshan. So I changed the dropout a little, so I'm getting around 40%.
So the dropout you're changing. Okay, I'm getting 40%. Great. Till 15 epochs, right?
15 epochs, yeah.
And it's increasing after each and every step, right? So if you go for 100, then
Correct.
it will improve.
Okay.
No, I'm asking you. So 40 is constant for some time, or the 40
No,
only
no,
got
it's increasing. It's
it's
increasing
increasing, right?
gradually.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so put 150 or 100, 200, not now after the class. That put more epochs and you'll get
Yeah.
the good accuracy. Okay. For me also,
Okay.
I'm going 28.50. So basically, you have to play with the parameters. Now everyone knows what is the important parameters here.
We can try increasing the convolution layers as well. No?
Yeah, you can do anything. Yeah, you can just increase this, decrease this, increase this. So whatever you can see here, right? Whatever hyperparameter tuning you can see, you can do anything of your choice. But the outcome is that the accuracy should increase. So now you understand why deep learning, what is important in deep learning. In deep learning, this writing a code is not important. Playing with the parameters is important.
I tried changing the convolution layer. I mean, adding one more, and
Mhm.
simultaneously, I also changed this model dot add dense. That is the number of neurons.
Okay.
But I'm getting some error. I tried to make it after 128. I made it 256,
Okay.
and in dense also I made it as 256.
Okay. Okay. So you have to do a calculation here. Okay. So what calculation you have to do? See. So you are telling that you are doing this here, right? Correct. And this is 128 into 2 is how much?
256.
250. And this is 3. Yes.
Yes, yes. That everything I've kept
Yes.
as it
So
is.
tell me one thing. If the image size is 32 here, and my pool I'm doing 2 cross 2, so divide by 2. What is the value? 16.
Uh,
Then again I'm doing 2. What is the value? 16. Correct. Sorry,
yeah,
8. Again I'm doing 2. What is the value? 4.
4.
Again I'm dividing by, so 4 and 3 is the final matrix size. Okay. Be sure here that this is not decreasing. This is the first thing you have to do.
No, no. Can you please repeat?
Okay. So after each convolution, what happens after max pool 2D? The size becomes half, right?
Yes.
So this is the image size is 32. I have done a max pooling of 2. So divided by 2 is what?
16.
16. So this will go on 16, right? This
Hmm.
will process on 16 size image, that is 16 cross 16.
Hmm.
Then again I'm doing max pooling of 2 here.
Hmm.
So what will we
8.
get? 16 divided by 2.
8.
This will work on what?
8.
8. Then again a max pooling.
4.
So this is 4. This will work on what? 4.
4.
And filter size is what? 3. So be careful here, this side, okay? Be careful this side.
Hmm.
Okay, so if I do the same thing what you are doing, so this is what you are doing, and if I run this, and if I run this, and if I run this, so I will also get the same error. Why? Because the problem is of this parameter. Okay, so you have to add to overcome this problem. What you have to do is you have to add one more parameter, and that is padding. If you remember what padding means is, so this
Hmm.
to give the same size as the input size, right? If you remember,
Right. Right.
so
Right.
we have to save this as same. You have to, this is a parameter called same. So this will do internal calculation on its own, and it will try to give the same output to you. So if you do this, then the output will be resolved. It's clear.
Yes. Yes.
So this is what you have to take care of. So you have to do same here also. And same here also. Now if you try to run this, it will run. See, now the training works. Did you understand the logic that what calculation you have to take care of? So you can't just keep on increasing the computation layer. You
Yes.
have to maintain. You have to check the calculation also, that the image size is maintained or not. Okay. Now I think this will run.
Yes.
Just check. Yeah. So this comes with experience. Okay. This is not the one-time thing. This will come with experience.
Akshan,
Yes. Yes.
I'm getting a strange, might be I did some mistake. While I'm doing the model.fit with the extend with epoch 15 and the batch size 32, invalid argument with the incompatible say 32,10 versus 32.
Okay. Just share your screen. Let me check what mistake you're doing.
1 second.
Let me allow you. Okay, what about others? No one is responding other than 2 to 3 people. Just write in a chat box that are you able to run the code or not? Okay, so let me show X train and Y train. Okay. Can you just print the shape of X and Y train for me?
Yeah, already I
Okay.
did that. Extreme 32, 33 to 50.
Okay, great. Then scroll down a bit. Then you have print.
Up, down?
Down.
Down, okay.
More. So yes. So two categorical. So X train. Okay, this. Okay, correct. Go down. Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay, go down. So okay. This you have done. This also is correct. Okay, go down.
So I just changed this dropout 0.4 to.
And one more thing, never put a dropout in the output layer. Okay, it is not recommended. So
okay.
That's also issue. Just a suggestion. Issue is something else. Okay.
I am removing this one.
Right.
Shall I execute?
Yeah, execute. Scroll down. Then TF Keras, sparse categorical. Okay. See, when to use categorical and when to use sparse categorical. Sparse, you have to use sparse categorical where the output target variable is in the form of 0 to 10. Means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like this.
Okay.
Now you have converted into what? Two categorical, right?
Yes.
So it is a form of get dummies, that is 0 and 1.
Yeah, 0 to 1. Yeah.
0 to 1, right? So you can't use sparse there. So you have to use categorical cross interrupt. Just remove the sparse. No, do one thing. No. Just remove that.
This much?
Yeah. So and now try to execute this, compile this, and
Just,
compile this also.
okay.
Mul.fit, and it will work. Okay, it's not working.
No,
10 to and 10 are 10 to, what is 10 to then?
I'm confusing with the 10. I kept it nothing. Yeah. Here is a 15, but 10 I kept it for dense one. I mean, whatever the output we'll get.
Okay, put this is one.
One? Okay.
Yes, one. Now execute, run this
One second,
again.
I'll execute.
So mistake we are doing. Okay, do one thing. In the downshell only, just type x train dot shape. Just show me the shape. This is correct. Y shape. Y train dot shape.
I'm creating down only.
So this is okay. Why this is 50,000? Okay, 50,000. Just check this. And why this is 10 comma 2? Just check this. Go on top. Go on top. Okay, this should be 51, right? Okay, some mistake we are doing. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's go step by step. So execute the import statement first.
Okay.
Can execute this? Yes.
It execute. Okay. Shall I execute?
Yes, yes, yes. Let's try to verify the shape also.
It's not yet
Yeah, yeah.
complete. I didn't get any output.
Yeah, we're not getting output. Okay, that's good. Not to print, run this way. So this is correct. Till here it's correct. Extract also, just to verify. Okay, classes. Then just check once. Classes 1 and
1
let's
and 0, then we will get the
shape. Okay. Just run this visualization part also. Just try to change the visualization. Just make it 10.
Okay.
Yeah, down also you have to.
I'm just going.
10. Yes. Just to verify everything is correct. Okay. So this is a deer and this is a British purple.
Okay.
Go
I'm
down.
going down.
No, now this we have to check.
Normalization 0 to 1, then we have to fix whether 255
Okay, let's run this
everything. Okay.
Now you're getting proper output. Okay, so now it's 0 to 1. Okay, now it's proper. Last, if you notice that it was
Yes, I thought I'll ask you that why I was getting like that.
some issue, some mistake you have done. Now it's correct.
Okay.
If you get for the next time, just tell me. Okay.
Okay.
Because I didn't notice that why you're getting this, but that was the issue.
Okay. So I'm
keep.
Okay.
This.
Let it execute. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So basically, I have made there 1, right? So make it 10 again. The output layer in the ANN.
Sorry.
Yes. Now it's running. Scroll on top of it.
It's running.
Yeah,
might be due to this it's causing.
Yeah, because do one thing. Again execute this way.
This one, it's running. That's why I'm not.
Okay.
I'll do one thing, Afshan. Once it is execute, I'll execute again this one. Okay.
Yeah, I think now what happened now, your white train has changed. If you notice, the white train has been changed now, right? So
yeah,
into categorical, you're giving again white train, which is a changed one. So that's why it transformed that particular data into new data.
Okay. Earlier it was checking for the SEEP one, and here it is checking the deer one. Might be that is the issue. Okay. The train got changed. That's why we are able to get the detail.
Accuracy was increasing.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
So it's clear now how to
Yeah, yeah.
debug everything? Yes.
And one thing, sorry, I'm again disturbing. That time someone asked that 125, 256 we added. So it was obviously it should not decrease from this one.
Yes, yes,
Correct.
yes.
And
Yes, sir.
the same thing when we will drop out, the everything will be filterized here also, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
The same thing will come in the same scenarios. All the things will coming in here also, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay. Thank you.
So I hope now, so how to debug is clear to you, right? So if you
Yes.
face any issue, then just try to see the shape and size of everything,
Okay. Okay.
because that is a common mistake everyone does.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, everyone. So Ajit is getting us accuracy 52 for epoch 30. Okay, just try to increase the epoch and see the accuracy what you are getting. Okay.
Afsan,
Yes.
in model.add convolution 2D, in that we have kept 64 comma 3. That 3 is for stride or else kernel size.
This is the kernel size. See, if I'm not mentioning anything, no, so it will follow the order. What I mean to say is, if I like, see what is the first thing? Filter. What is the second thing? Kernel size. So it will follow. If I am not giving any parameter name, it will follow the order.
So can we change the kernel size also?
Yes, of course you can see the kernel size. You can make it 5 also. It's up to you.
Any logic behind it?
Uh, but what is kernel size? Can you tell me? First of all.
I am not getting that also. So I asked you.
Okay, okay. You don't know what is kernel. Okay, okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that is the issue. Kernel size is nothing but a filter size.
Okay.
2 cross 2, 3 cross 3. I told you yesterday, right?
Yes, yes.
That is nothing but a kernel size.
Okay. So we can put play with kernel size and strides also.
Yes, yes, of course. So if you want to kernel size of 3, and if you want a stride, you can do strides equal to what side you want. You want to just go with this.
Oh, right. Okay, okay. Thank you. I got it now.
So again, the filter is the number of filter what you want, and kernel size is how what will be the size of the filter. That is what you mean by kernel size. Yes. Anyone else has a doubt?
Could you please repeat that softmax one? Why we add softmax for last?
Okay, why we have softmax for the last? Okay, I will repeat. So at the end, how many output layer you have?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many output layer you have given? Just check the code and tell me.
10.
10, right? So basically, in the output layer, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose I'm taking 5 out of 10, I'm taking 5. Okay. What is the output layer here? So the output layer will be in the form of some numbers, right? So it will be form of 1.3, 5.1, then 2.2, 0.7, 1.1. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, how to decide that among this, which one is the class that I have? So I have to convert this into probability, right? So for example, in logic regression, when you have value of 0.8, sorry, you have value of 24, for example, you have why you convert into 0 to 1? Because based on some threshold to decide whether the category is 1 or 0. Yes, if you remember.
Yes.
So same thing. Now that is only for 2 class. Suppose you have more than 2 class. So that logic will be not applicable, because then we have to think of the things, right? So that's why we have logic regression. So output. So I will just give you the proper definition. Output layer, the output can be in a form of 1.3, 5.1, 2.2, 0.7, and 1.1. Now we have to convert this into probability. Yes or no? So to convert this into probability, we are using one more function called a softmax function. So the formula here is E of Z divided by summation of j equal to 0 to the value of k. K is number of output layer, okay, and E of Z. And this will give the answer in probability. For example, like this. So 0 0.02, 0 0.90, 0 0.05, 0 0.01, 0 0.02. So among this, which has the last probability? Among this, which has the last probability?
0.9.
0.9 second.
Means the second output, right?
Second.
So the second class is what? That is the prediction for me. That is why we are using the softmax function, just to get everything into probability. That's it. That's why we are using softmax function. And the softmax function nothing but, suppose the first value was 1.3, so it will be e raised to 1.3 divided by e raised to 1.3 plus e raised to 5.1 plus e raised to 2.2. So how many outputs are there? So divide by that, and this will give the probability to me. Now it's clear. The softmax function is clear to everyone.
So Afsan, the higher probability of that output will be considered as the softmax of that layer, right?
Softmax of the layer, yes. Basically, the higher probability means that is the classification that my model is doing.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. So this is what you mean by softmax function. So it is advisable to always use softmax function when you have more than 2 classes, because of this formula. So now it's clear. The person who asked me the doubt of softmax.
Yes.
So this is what softmax is. Okay. So anyone has a doubt in this, we will move to the next example now, that is Eminish and fashion Eminish. So CIFAR 10 is clear to everyone. So the basic funda was not to explain a CIFAR 10. The basic fundamental was to explain what is convolution and how and what is important. The coding is not important there. What is important? The hyperparameter tuning thing. So when you did randomly something, the accuracy was 10. But when I told you to play with the parameters, so some got the accuracy of 55, some got the accuracy of 60 and stuff like that, right? So this is what I'm into. So and one more thing, just don't blindly keep on adding the convolution layer, because the calculation also matters. That's why I have told you the calculation also yesterday. The calculation also matters. So if you keep on adding the things, the padding becomes, the image size becomes small and small and small after each convolution layer. Okay, so it might happen that the kernel size and the image size is same and you're trying to do convolution there. Okay, that will throw an error. To avoid this, you can do padding equal to same. And we have something called a sparse categorical cross entropy and categorical cross entropy. Whenever your data is in a form of get dummies, get dummies in the sense 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 or 1, 0, 0, 0 for the particular class, you have to go with categorical cross entropy. You have to use sparse when you have only single target variable. Okay, so what I mean to say is when to use sparse categorical and when to not. So sparse, S-P-A-R-S-E, sparse categorical. We have to sparse categorical when our data is in the form of 0 to 9, 0 in the form of digit. So basically the class is in the form of like this. So 9, 0, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and you have to use categorical when this 9 is in the form of this 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9. and this is 0, so 1 0 0 0 0. Okay, if data is in this format, you have to use categorical cross entropy. If the data is in this, if the target is in this format, so you have to use sparse categorical. So this is clear to everyone? Yes.
In this case, we have used sparse categorical, right? Because the data are in 1, 2, 3 format, correct?
Yes. So I don't know about you, but I have taken sparse here, and one more thing, I have just commented this line. So that's why for me sparse is working. Okay, if I do this, uncomment this, if I run this again, everything. So let's check. So basically it will throw a dimension error basically. Let's see. Or the output will be not good. It can be either of these two. So see, I got the error. Okay, so why? Because this is now into form of 0 and 1s, and this will not work. Okay, so to make it work, you have to do categorical cross entropy. Now as soon as you change this, run this, and it will start working. Okay, your cell has crashed. Okay, so basically you got the logic. So why this crashed? But
For me also it got crashed actually.
okay, because of RAM usage. Yeah, got it, got it. See, this is a problem with Collab. Okay, this is a problem with Collab. So if you notice, this RAM is getting, why this RAM is getting? So when you are loading this, this all images are getting loaded into RAM. Okay, so if I show you something like this, wait, I will show you again.
Whatever we do, like categorical or not, so the output will be same, right? Like based on same category of.
Yes, the output will be same. Just this when we use categorical, when to use categorical, that is different. The output will be same always. Yeah. See, can you see the RAM is increasing after each process? So this got exhausted for everyone. That's why. So now it's 3.48 GB RAM. If you keep on running this shell, it will get crash. That is the issue. That was the issue last time also. And this. So basically, this is what is happening. Okay. So this you understood when to use what? When to use sparse categorical and when to use categorical clear to everyone.
Yes.
If we have 0 to 9 in the output, like numbers, so we can use sparse, and then if output is in the form of 0 and 1, like binary, then we will go with categorical only, right?
Exactly. Yes. Because the formula is the behind the scene formula is dependent on the output target variable. That's why. That's why we have to just take care of this part. That's everything. SGD is stochastic induction. This you know, accuracy you know, and you can go ahead with that. So this CIFAR 10 dataset is clear to everyone. So try to increase the value after. So just try to increase the epoch and stuff like that after the class. But I think the coding stuff is clear to everyone. That how to code a particular CNN.
Yes.
Okay, so this is CIFAR 10. Let's move to the next topic.
Can you show us how do we predict this using
How to predict this? Okay, let just finish. Prediction is the same. What you have done, no? So you have to just pass the X test. That's it. Okay, I will show you. Y test, sorry, not X test, Y test. Okay. Suppose this is accuracy and you're satisfied with the accuracy. So what we'll do is we do model. Okay, let's show you something else first. Let's see the assembly that how many parameters that we are training. Can you see this? How many parameters we are training? 5,30,000 parameters is getting trained. Okay, so it is not machine learning algorithm that only one or two parameters get trained. No, this is deep learning, and this is why we require GPU. And how to predict is very simple. You have to just do model.predict, and inside this you have to pass yes test and run this. Okay, so input layer as you can compare with the okay model and dimension. Okay, so basically not x y test, x test. Okay, capital X. Okay. So I will just save this into YPRED so that I will get the output YPRED. Run this. Now run this. Now you got the output. You have just the YPRED, and this is the prediction. This is the prediction that you got. It's clear now? It's clear or not?
Yes.
Okay,
But
so
how do we say the image that is given is a cat
Yeah.
or a bird?
Yes,
yeah.
yes, same
So
question.
yes, yeah. So that's why I was focusing on that. Okay, so now what the output is? Output will be some numbers, right? So suppose how many numbers? So output will be how many numbers? 10, because we have 10 neurons at the end. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now the question is which class is the max. So we have to find out the maximum value. That's it. Suppose this is 0 this is 10, this is 20, this is 30, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Which is the maximum value? 30 is the maximum value, right? So 30 is the class that is predicting. How to find that? We have to use a function. Let me show you that function. That function is np argmax. Okay, so import numpy as np, and then what you have to use? You have to use classes. So I will use classes dot np dot argmax y spread of the first image. Let's see for 0 what it predicted. So for 0 it predicted dog for me. The first image it predicted dog for me. It's clear now how to get the classes. So this np.argmax will give you the argument of the maximum value. Argument in the sense the index value. Okay, so I will explain this with a code. Okay, it will be much simpler. Suppose I am getting 1 2 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Which index has the maximum value? Which index has the maximum value?
9.
9, right? So to
9.
get this, if I do something called as np.argmax, np.argmax. So this is a basically numpy function. Okay, just a numpy function I'm using, and just pass this. Okay, numpy argmax. Okay, lot of max. So what is the maximum index we're getting? 9, right? I'm just mapping this 9 to the classes what you have defined. That's it. It's clear now to everyone? Okay, everyone, please respond. Is this clear to everyone?
Why are we getting 10 outputs here in one line?
Because what we have done here.
Because output layer is
Because
10.
out of is 10, right?
Output is 10, so we'll get 10 values, right, at the end for the inference also.
Yeah.
So because of that. So this is, now it's clear how to do a prediction. So in place of this YPRED, you can pass an image of size 32 cross 32 cross 3, and it will try to tell you that what is that image is. So if you pass a dog image, just do this. So not here, basically not here, never.
Sun,
Yes.
Argmax gives the maximum number from the list which we are passing, right?
Not the maxi number, the index.
Max. Okay, 0 to 9. Okay, got it.
So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a maximum index, right? So 9 is a maximum index, not the maximum value. Which index has a maximum value? That index is given to me. Is clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is what. So this is how you do the prediction. So the prediction is clear to everyone. So if you want to do a prediction on a single image, so take that image and pass it here. That's it. So what you can do is, if you want to predict for single image, so suppose if I do x train of 0, if I run this, okay, so okay, dimension 4 it accepted. So what you have to do is dot reshape 1 comma 32 32 3. Now what is ypred? If suppose you have passed one image matrix size, okay, so I do the same thing. So classes and R max of ypred. Okay, sorry, my bad. So it is deer. It's saying that the first image is a deer. Let's try to verify that. So let's go to xtrain and let's put 0 here. Let's put 0 here. Let's see. Okay, so it is actually a frog, but it's giving a deer because my accuracy is not good, because 33%. This is how you do a prediction. Is clear to everyone? Yes or no? And okay, I will just tell you here only how to save the model. Suppose you are happy with the accuracy, how to save the model, that you can, so that you can upload this model on Flask or somewhere other steps. Okay, so we have very simple. We have very simple step for this. So you have to just do model.save. That's it. Model.save, and inside this, just put a model name, that is my underscore model, and just run this. So once you do this, this model is getting saved into my model assets. So if you expand this, see my model is getting created, and this is what is generating. Assets, variable, and all the files are there. So to load the model, what you have to do is model.load. That's it. So from TensorFlow, okay, so model equal to TensorFlow dot keras dot models dot load models. This is what you have to do, and you have to give the name, that is the folder name, that is my model, and run this. Model is loaded. Now you can do prediction again in this model. So for the ease, so that you can understand, I will do one here. Now if I do model underscore 1 dot predict, and I will pass the y train x test, and if I run this, okay, it will throw an error because this model is an issue, and you get the output. It's clear now how to save the model and how to load the model in Keras.
Yes.
Yes.
So now if you are so if you are doing some project, if you are satisfied with the project, then put this into a Flask. Everything will be same. Just the only thing what you have to do is you have to take the user image. You have to take the image from the user side, and just pass this through this particular thing. You will get the output. Just throw that output again to the user. It's very simple after that. So this is what CIFAR 10 is all about. So try to increase the accuracy, try to deploy this project. Okay, so what I will do is I will give the code of Flask, where if user uploaded some picture, it will take to the backend, and then it will try to show the output to you. Okay, so that it becomes easy for you to do a deployment, end-to-end deployment. because that taking the input from the user that requires a HTML knowledge and a JS and the CSS knowledge. So what I will do is I will just give you the basic template. If you run this Flask app, in the user side, it will tell you to upload the image, and when someone uploads the image, that image will take into the backend and it will save in some folder. So next step, you have to take that image and you have to pass through the model. So this is clear to everyone what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Just to make your deployment easy, that's it. Otherwise, you have to learn HTML and stuff like that to take the image from the user and stuff like this. So I will give you the basic template to help you. Okay, so this is CIFAR 10. So what I will do is I will just download this as IPYNB so that I can give to you. September 20 and save here. Okay, CIFAR 10 is saved. Now let's move to the next, and that is MNIST dataset. So I will again open this. So I will work with this only. Okay, so you can I have saved the thing. So if you want, you can also work on this on the same data. So the only thing what you have to do is you have to call in place of CIFAR 10, you have to call MNIST. That's it. Once you have called MNIST, what is the next step you have to do?
Load MNIST data.
Yes.
MNIST.
Exactly. So load MNIST, and all the structure will be same. Okay, all the structure will be this way only. So they have tried to maintain a common structure for everything. So when I run this, and wait a bit time. Let's see. So data is this, and this is the data. So can you explain me what is this?
28 by 28 is the image size.
So why 3 is not there? Question is there.
It's
Black and
only
white.
one color.
It's a gray.
Exactly, it's a black and white image. That's why. Okay. It's a black and white image. That's why 3 is not there. So this is the data that we have. Let's try to run this. Now the class is not required here because 0 means 0, 1 means 1 only, because there is a digit, right? So this class is not required. So I will comment this. This is also not required. Let's see the this part now. So extrain of 0, what is the image? Let's see. So this is the image of 5. Okay, so let's see x test of 0. Okay, sorry, x text is not defined as capital X. X text of 0. So answer should be 5. Let's see. Okay, not this I want y test. My bad. So okay, it's 7. Okay, how it's 7? Okay. It is train. So see guys, this mistake everyone make. That's why. So this is 5. This is 5. Okay. So let's see this one and this as one. What is the first data that we have? So the first is 0 and the output is also 0. This is clear to everyone. So here it is very straightforward. That 0 means the target value is 0. 1 means the target value is 1. You don't have to do nothing. You have to do nothing here. Okay. So let's don't do this, and let's try to do only the normalization. So let's do the normalization. Done. Let's build the same model. Let's see if anything we are getting. Run this and run this. It will throw an error. Can anyone tell me why it's showing an error?
Maybe because of the dense, last dense.
Output error.
Output dense should be.
Output dense. This? You're seeing this? This is correct, right? Digit is from 0 to 9. So 10 values are there, right? In the output also. So MNIST data, the value is between 0 to 9. So basically 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically 10 output. It's correct. Okay, you're saying the dropout is wrong here.
No, not the dropout.
Okay, so just try to understand here. Okay, so I have just commented this, and what I have to use here now, the loss.
Sparse.
Sparse.
Sparse. Okay, so this and this. Okay, what error I'm getting? Full shape 32, 28, 28. Sequence also incompatible layer. Okay, so something we are doing, some mistakes we are doing. So let's see. Let's do. Okay, got it. So basically, what you have to do is Keras only accepts the output, okay, in the form of 2D array, in a form of 4D array, okay. And what dimension we have? So basically, what the error is, this is what dimension? 3 dimension, right?
3D.
And Keras always wants a 4-dimension array. Why? Because 1 for the channel also it wants. So if the channel is there, it is 3. If channel is not there, it's 1, right? By default. So we have to reshape to what? We have to reshape into 4 dimension. So Keras always takes a 4-dimension array. One is the batch size or the image, how many image you're passing, and the total the image size. Now here the problem is that in MNIST it is grayscale. So we have only 3 dimensions here. That is the image, number of images, 28 cross 28. But somehow we have to add the 4 dimension. So how to add the 4 dimension here?
Adding?
No, 4 dimension.
Okay.
4 dimension in the sense, so x dot
Reshape.
yes,
Reshape.
reshape. Then what I can do is, what is the value that we have? 10,000, 28, 28. So what we can do is we can do 10,000, 28, 28, comma 1. Okay, this is correct. So 10,000. Okay, let's try to see this. So okay. So the second, this approach is not working. So the next approach, what we have to do is we have to give the input dimensions. So in this parameter, in this conv2D, we have something called as input parameter. Okay, so if we do something like input shape, and you can identify the shape here. Okay, so shape will be of 28, 28, comma 1. So if you run this now, let's see. Okay, again issues. What is the issue?
We need to do it in all layers, right?
No, that is not. Okay, input 0. Okay, actually I'm so one dimension. Full shape
First,
32.
it was in first sequential. Now it's giving in 2 sequential.
Okay. Okay, so basically this will not allow. Okay, so somehow we have to do some logic here. Okay, so let's try that. Let's work with that logic. So X train is we have. Let's try to see what is the X train shape. So X train I will give this as x test equal to x string dot reshape 10,000 into 28, 28, 1. And the same thing I will give as x test dot reshape, and what is the value here? Okay, this is 6,000, not 10,000. Okay, so that's the issue. So this is 6. And the same thing will be 10,000. So now it's correct, everyone. Just rectify this. Any issue in this?
No.
Okay, so let's run this. So everything is correct here. Let's run this. So let's run this now. Let's run this. Now it's running. See the accuracy, what I'm getting. See the accuracy. I'm getting an accuracy of 83%. So I am getting the accuracy of 93. Let's see. Let's finish. I'm getting accuracy of 93 almost. What about you guys? What is the accuracy that you are getting? Okay, so what is the accuracy that you're getting, people? What accuracy you're getting? Hello, am I
Afsan,
audible?
can you scroll up little bit?
Okay. So everyone is waiting me to scroll up. Okay. Where you tell me to stop? Okay, where you want me to stop? Okay, this part you want to see? The
Yes,
reshape
yes,
part?
reshape,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So this reshape concept is clear to everyone. What I'm trying to do here, or do you want me to repeat?
It's clear.
It's clear, right? So yes.
Earlier case, we don't need to reshape, right? So,
Earlier case, we don't require to reshape because it was color image, so the 4 dimension was given to us. That's why.
okay, yeah.
If you see when you load the data, you will see the 3rd dimension was given to us. That's why we not need to reshape that. So you have to put the 4 dimensions in such a way that the image size also don't get changed, the image also will don't get changed, and what keras is required, and you're giving that also.
If we don't give that one, then it will be still in one 3 dimension. but just to avoid the error, we are putting
Yes,
one there, right?
exactly, yes. Because by default, Keras take it wants 4 dimension,
Hmm.
so that's it. So it's everything is perfect without one also, but the issue with the Keras should only take 4 dimension every time. So we have to reshape that to 4 dimension. So accuracy is on 93%. Just let's see the model summary. Model summary is 4 lakh parameters less than CIFAR 10. Then let's try to do a prediction. Okay. If I do 28, 28 and 1. So can anyone tell me why I'm not getting the output when I'm putting the image size as 28, 28, 1? They should work, right? Just think. Very simple logic, very logical part. I'm giving 5 minutes to think, okay? Just think what I'm trying to ask. So I will repeat my question. If I'm giving x dot train and I'm reshaping it to 28, 28, 1. So it again it's showing you some error, and the error is that this is the error.
It's a 3-dimensional array.
It's a 3-dimension.
Exactly. So you have trained on 4 dimensions. So of course you have to give 4 dimension for prediction also, right?
Yes.
So we'll give 1 here because this is a single image. So just change to 1 comma this. That's it. And when you do a prediction, this is a prediction that you will get. So what I will do is I will check what is the first value of prediction, and the first value is a dog, and how this class is okay. I don't want this classes. I want only NP max. So basically it's 5. Let's try to see the data. So X, sorry, how am I doing this? X test, oh not X train, sorry. Y train of 0. Let's see what is the value of Y train of 0. And the value is 5. So the prediction is also 5 and the real value is also 5. So your model is predicting good.
Can you please explain this argument max once?
Argument max.
Yeah.
Okay. So suppose how many output layer you have at the end?
10.
10, right? So the value will be, there will be 10 values that will be coming. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and the value is in this form. So 2.3 into 4.5, 4.6 into 0.9 into 9.0 into 4.7 into this 4.7. Then 10.1, 11.5, 67.2, and okay, so 0.2 and 9.0. Okay, so this will be also point. So can you tell me which is the maximum value here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more I will add. Okay, so 4.9. So here, which is the maximum value?
67.
67. This means that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4,
7.
5, 7th node give me the maximum value in the output.
Yes.
So this means 7th is the prediction class. Yes. But how to know? How to know? Because I have the value here. How to get the maximum value? So if you get the maximum value using the max function, it will give the value, right? But I want the index. Yes. So we have something called as Rmax. So when we do np.arg max, and if you try to put the array in this, so it will give the maximum array, the index of maximum thing. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the index value, right? So 7 you're getting the output. Now it's clear?
Yes.
Any more? I mean, I think from your S, there's some confusion with this again.
No,
What is the confusion? What is the
I'm
confusion?
just trying to understand that what will be the size of the matrix that we will be getting? I mean,
So size of the matrix when you're putting on the okay. So what I will do is just for your ease, you want this wipe red basically, right?
yes.
Okay. So wipe red. Let's print this. So this is a wipe red. See the 10 values you will get. Now deciding this is the maximum is difficult here, right? Because it is 10 raised to the power minus 8, 10 to the minus 6. Getting my point here? So how will decide which is the maximum value here?
So, what is the shape? What will be the shape of this array?
Okay, shape. What of this array?
Should be 1 dimension.
1, 10. It is 2 dimension.
Okay. Okay.
I think you're confused with the inference part. So I will explain the diagram. Okay.
Yep.
Suppose this is hidden. This is the second last hidden layer that I have, and I have this also. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 output layers I have. So when you do the prediction, so prediction is what? You take an image on the train weights, you just do the forward pass. Yes. This is what is my prediction.
Yes.
Now when you do the prediction, you will get how many values? 6 values. Yes. Now the maximum value is the prediction of that class. Yes.
Yes.
But the same thing is given in 2 dimension. That's it. So it is 1, 10. So basically 1 row and 10 column. That's it.
Okay.
So this will be in this way. 10 values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. So 1 row, 10 columns. Now the maximum is a class, right? That you're predicting, and just do argmax of this. This is the only thing what I'm doing here. Nice, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else anyone wants to ask something? So what is the accuracy that you are getting, everyone? Okay, I think no one run the code only. I went too fast, so what? Okay. So I will again repeat. If you want to check if something you understood, just point me out. Okay. So the first thing is you have to call all the libraries, then the data, then this is just checking that the shape of the things. We don't require classes here because classes is 0 means 0, 1 means 1 only. So we don't have to do mapping anything. And this is the visualization part that I'm trying to do. Then I'm just doing the normalization of the data. That's it. Then I'm just reshaping the x10 and x in the 4 dimension because we have in the 3rd dimension. So I'm changing this into a 4th dimension. Okay. Then we have to follow this architecture, that is model architecture, compile, and then we have to do fit. So I am using the same architecture that we use in CIFAR 10. So nothing is changed. The logic, everything remains the same. Here I am using sparse. Can you tell me why?
Values from 0 to 10.
Yes, because the value is the single value, it is 0 to 9. It is not, we don't have dummies there. That's why. Then directly the fit the model, you get the accuracy 93%. Model summary is to check how many parameters are there to train. So there are around 4,31,402 parameters that was trained. And once the model is trained, you can just do the prediction here. Why I'm reshaping this? Because Keras wants a 4-dimension array. So that's why I'm reshaping this. And this is the output you are getting. So output you will get in a form of 10 dimensions. Okay, so 1 comma 10. So to get the maximum value, to get the maximum index of the highest value, you have to use argmax. So you're getting argmax 5 here. So if you want to test, just test here. Okay, so let's see the y, prediction of y, and it is telling me, okay, the number was 2. Let's try to see the y train also. So 5, and let's see. So it's 2. So my model is perfect. Okay, then what the next step? Just save the model and load the model for the prediction. That's it. So you have to save the model. The save the model will be done here, and load the model. This is nothing but MNIST dataset. Now it's clear to everyone. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
today no Josh. Why? What happened? Kajal got 98% accuracy, maximum value, and maximum the index of the maximum value. Yes, Nikhil, that is correct. 98, okay, you are getting 90% accuracy. Great. Actually, the optimal is 98.7 or something. Okay, so okay, everyone was getting the accuracy, but they were not speaking. Okay, great. I didn't see the chat box. My bad. Okay, so this is
I want
MNIST.
to
Sorry.
load a data from my local system and check it. So instead of load data, I missed load data. What will be the function that we use?
Okay, suppose you are telling that that image is in the form of the folder structure, not in the form of that they're giving by default, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that requires extra knowledge. So that I will do in the next Saturday class. I require total of 4 hours for that. That's why. Okay. So right now I will not tell you that, because for that you require the extras, because we have to learn new parameters there. So I'm not for just loading up your mind with that. So let's go step by step. So first let's see how to train the thing. Then on the next Saturday's class we will see the real-time use case where you will have an image and how to read that image and how to train that data. Okay. So yes, everyone, have a great day. Bye bye.